Welcome back to the 2011 Little League World Series here in South Williamsport. We're standing behind the center field fence at Lamade Stadium here on Sunday afternoon. From the Williamsport Sun-Gazette, I'm Mitch Rupert. Standing next to me is Ben Burrows. He is covering the international side of the tournament all week. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the international field. We haven't gotten it too much. Ben, let's start off. The first day we saw some great pitching from the Mexico team. They got the shutout of Taiwan. Taiwan comes back yesterday, scores 20 runs. We've already talked about the great pitching from California. On the international side, is Mexico the equivalent with their pitching and their pitching depth?
They really are. I mean, Jorge Jacobo came out and he can throw a plus fastball that's going to sit in the low 70s, and then he has a curveball that he is not afraid to throw at any count. He'll throw for a strike. He's not afraid to throw any of his pitches at any time. As far as the depth, the manager told us that they have 3 other aces that they can throw on any day. But as Mexico's only played 1 game, we really don't know if that's going to be true. And unfortunately, Jacobo went all 6 innings, and so he's not going to be available tonight against Japan, which could be the second best team in the international bracket.
Looks like we might get an international final preview tonight if the rain holds off here in South Williamsport. Japan and Mexico playing. The loser goes down to the loser's bracket. The winner goes 2-0 for the tournament. Give us a little scouting report, what we can expect from this Japan-Mexico game tonight, and do you think we might see it again?
I really do think we're going to see this again. I think whoever loses this game is going to work their way back through the loser's bracket, and they're going to play a second time. The Japanese team, we've only gotten to see them once. It's the usual type of baseball that we get from the Asian region of the world. It's speed, good pitching, fundamentals. Mexico's going to rely on power pitching. They're going to hope to get a couple runners on base and hit a home run. Now, one of the advantages Japan has is their star pitcher, Yoshiki Suzuki. He didn't go 6 innings. They got a big lead on Aruba early. We're able to pull him, so he could be available to throw today. While Jacobo, he's not available, and we haven't seen any of Mexico's other pitchers. So we don't really know how much depth they have. But one thing we can look at is Mexico has a quality win so far against Taiwan. Taiwan could be the 3rd best team in this bracket. Japan got an easy win against Aruba, and so we just don't know how it's actually going to work.
Every year we come here to the Little League World Series, the 3 teams that we generally talk about, Mexico, Japan, and Taiwan. They're usually the ones battling for the international title. Ben, do you think there's anybody else in this international field that could sneak into that top 3, maybe make a run at getting into the international final?
I think Venezuela could definitely sneak in. Obviously, Aruba and Europe have already been eliminated. Canada, they just don't have the defense or the pitching or the offense really to stick around with those other teams. Venezuela, the only problem with them is whether or not they're going to be able to hit. They have the pitching depth. We saw Kenny Marquez on the first day, goes out, throws 4 2/3 innings, 10 strikeouts. He had 3 walks, so he's a little wild, but you're going to see a lot of the same. There's going to be similarities between him and Jacobo. He's not quite as good. His fastball doesn't sit, it sits in the upper 60s rather than the lower 70s of Jacobo's, but they're very similar pitchers. Now, one advantage for Venezuela is they do have 12 pitchers on the roster. They can throw 12 different pitchers at you on any given day. And so that's going to play a big part because Japan, Taiwan, Mexico, we don't know exactly how much depth they have. Venezuela does have quite a bit of depth. It's whether or not they're going to be able to hit.
On the U.S. side of the bracket, we're given the advantage every year. ESPN shows the regional finals. This year we got to see some of the regional finals. So we see those U.S. teams before they get here to South Williamsport. We don't necessarily have that advantage with the international fields. Some of those regionals were played a month ago on the international side. So from what you've seen so far, who are some of the more impressive players you've seen on this international side?
Well, immediately from a pitching standpoint, it's Jorge Jacobo and Kenny Marquez from Venezuela. They are ahead of the field pitching-wise. They could be up there with Griffin McCarthy and Hagen Danner from California. They both throw hard. They have secondary breaking pitches that they can throw for strikes. Suzuki from Japan, he's a power hitter, had the grand slam on the first day. Also is their ace. But as far as anyone else outside of that core 3, Europe actually has a shortstop. Had a shortstop. He won't be in the series any longer. Angelo Wickler, that is one of the best defensive players that we've had in this Little League World Series. A lot of players have struggled with those hard balls to shortstop. He ate them up, made perfect throws. And as far as hitting wise, he was one of the more disciplined batters. Had 7 plate appearances, 3 walks, was 2 for 4. But Europe's eliminated, so we don't get to see him.
Only 3 days into the tournament so far, but we've already seen a lot of good baseball from this international field. Hoping to see a lot more here in the next couple days. From the Williams Sports Sun Gazette, he's Ben Burrows. I'm Mitch Rupert. We'll talk to you later. Take care.